The noble-minded have 9 states of mind: for eyes, bright; for ears, penetrating; for countenance, cordial; for demeanor, humble; for words, trustworthy; for service, reverent; for doubt, questioning; for anger, circumspect; and for facing a chance to profit, moral. Among his own countryfolk, Confucius wore a homely look, like one that has no word to say. When respect is shown according to what is proper, one keeps far from shame and disgrace. The master said, respectfulness, without the rules of propriety, becomes laborious bustle; carefulness, without the rules of propriety, becomes timidity; boldness, without the rules of propriety, becomes insubordination; straightforwardness, without the rules of propriety, becomes rudeness. The master said, artful speech and an ingratiating demeanor rarely accompany virtue. Not to talk with people although they can be talked with is to waste people. To talk with people although they can't be talked with is to waste words. A man of understanding does not waste people, but he also does not waste words. He that rules by mind is like the North Star, steady in his seat, whilst the stars all bend to him. If you look at their intentions, examine their motives, and scrutinize what brings them contentment, how can people hide who they are? How can they hide who they really are? He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place, and all the stars turn towards it. The noble-minded act before speak, then they speak according to their actions. If you want to make a stand, help others make a stand, and if you want to reach your goal, help others reach their goal. Consider yourself and treat others accordingly. This is the method of humanity. Worthy admonitions cannot fail to inspire us, but what matters is changing ourselves. Reverent advice cannot fail to encourage us, but what matters is acting on it. Encouraged without acting, inspired without changing, there's nothing to be done for such people. Things that are done, it is needless to speak about; things that have had their course, it is needless to remonstrate about; things that are past, it is needless to blame. The gentleman is dignified but not arrogant. The small man is arrogant, but not dignified. Language is insight itself. He had 4 of the characteristics of a superior man. In his conduct of himself, he was humble; in serving his superiors, he was respectful; in nourishing the people, he was kind; in ordering the people, he was just. A man should say, I am not concerned that I have no place. I am concerned how I may fit myself for one. I am not concerned that I am not known. I seek to be worthy to be known. When we see men of worth, we should think of equaling them. When we see men of a contrary character, we should turn inwards and examine ourselves. Knowing it does not compare with loving it. Loving it does not compare with delighting in it. The master said, the gentleman harmonizes he without being an echo. The petty man echoes tongue and does not harmonize. Listen to all that you can then. If you forget the deficiencies and speak about the rest cautiously, you avoid trouble. See all that you can then. If you forget the perilous and act upon the rest cautiously, you'll avoid regret. In speech avoid trouble, in action avoid regret. Then rewards will come of themselves. Is it not indeed a pleasure to acquire knowledge and constantly to exercise oneself therein? Lord Kai Wen thought 3 times before taking any action. When the master heard this, he said, twice is plenty enough. Clever talk, ingratiating looks, fawning reverence. So Chiu Ming found that shameful, and so do I friendly while harboring resentment. So Chiu Ming found that shameful too, and so do I. The nobler type of man is broad-minded and not prejudiced. The inferior man is prejudiced and not broad-minded. Am I a man of great wisdom? Hardly. Even when a simple person brings me a question, my mind goes utterly blank. I just thrash it out until I've exhausted every possibility. Adept Lu spent a night at Stone Gate, and the gatekeeper asked, where are you from? From the house of Confucius, replied Lu. Isn't he the one who knows it's hopeless, but keeps trying anyway? If the will be set on virtue, there will be no practice of wickedness. The superior man in the world does not set his mind either for anything or against anything. What is right he will follow. To see what's right and not do it is cowardice. When you make a promise consistent with what is right, you can keep your word. When you show respect consistent with good taste, you keep shame and disgrace at a distance. When he in whom you confide is one who does not fail his friends, you may trust him fully. Knowing it does not compare with loving it does not compare with delighting in it. I daily examine myself on 3 points, whether in transacting business for others, I may have been not faithful, whether in intercourse with friends, I may have been not sincere, whether I may have not mastered and practiced the instructions of my teacher. The master was entirely free of 4 faults: arbitrariness, inflexibility, rigidity, and selfishness. The cock, that is the trumpet to the morn, doth with his lofty and shrill-sounding throat awake the god of day, and, at his warning, whether in sea or fire, in earth or air, the extravagant and erring spirit hies to his confine, and of the truth herein this present object made probation. The philosopher Zhang said, I daily examine myself on 3 points, whether in transacting business for others, I may have been not faithful, whether in intercourse with friends, I may have been not sincere, whether I may have not mastered and practiced the instructions of my teacher. The master said, can men refuse to assent to the words of strict admonition? But it is reforming the conduct because of them which is valuable. Can men refuse to be pleased with words of gentle advice? But it is unfolding their aim which is valuable. If a man be pleased with these words, but does not unfold their aim, and assents to those, but does not reform his conduct, I can really do nothing with him. T.S.C. Lu said to the master, as the Prince of Wei, Sir, has been waiting for you to act for him in his government. What is it your intention to take in hand first? One thing of necessity, he answered, the rectification of terms. That, exclaimed T.S.C. Lu. How far away you are, sir. Why such rectification? What a rustic you are, T.S.C. Lu, rejoined the master. A gentleman would be a little reserved and reticent in matters which he does not understand. If terms be incorrect, language will be incongruous, and if language be incongruous, deeds will be imperfect. So, again, when deeds are imperfect, propriety and harmony cannot prevail. And when this is the case, laws relating to crime will fail in their aim. And if these last so fail, the people will not know where to set hand or foot. Hence, a man of superior mind, certain first of his terms, is fitted to speak, and being certain of what he says can proceed upon it. In the language of such a person there is nothing heedlessly irregular, and that is the sum of the matter. Those who understand a thing are not equal to those who are fond of it, and those who are fond of it are not equal to those who delight in it. A man whose strength gives out collapses along the course. In your case, you set the limits beforehand. Even when walking in the company of 2 other men, I am bound to be able to learn from them. The good points of the one I copy, the bad points of the other I correct in myself. The master is cordial yet stern, awe-inspiring yet not fierce, and respectful yet at ease. Su Chang asked whether we can know what is to be 10 generations hence. The master said, the yin took over the manners of the xia. The harm and the good that they did them can be known. The chao took over the manners of the yin. The harm and the good that they did them can be known. And we may know what shall be, even in 100 generations hence, whoever follows chao. If the people be led by laws, and uniformity sought to be given them by punishments, they will try to avoid the punishment, but have no sense of shame. 2. If they be led by virtue, and uniformity sought to be given them by the rules of propriety, they will have the sense of shame, and moreover will become good. While respecting spiritual beings, to keep aloof from them cautiously, you avoid trouble. See all that you can then. If you forget the perilous, and he was a man, take him for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again. The superior man bends his attention to what is radical. That being established, all practical courses naturally grow up.